I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another night of iRacing action here on the National Racing Network. My name is Chris Graham, and as always, it's a pleasure to be hanging out with you and my buddy Patrick Byrne, the Bizzler, up here in the commentary booth. And tonight's the Sim Racers Club heading off to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. I did not get to see last week's race, but apparently, Patrick, things were spicy. There was, we'll say, some action, and Hunter Waters getting a win by 72 thousandths of a second. Not a bad week at Talladega.
Hunter Waters getting him out of one hell of a pickle. Going down the back stretch, I don't even remember where he was. He was like 6th, 7th, somewhere back there. After the whole field had wrecked and saved the cars 4 times in the run down the turn 1. On the backstretch, the big one finally happened. Took out a bunch of cars. Hunter Waters shoots it straight up the middle, Days of Thunder style, and hangs on and gets the win. It was fantastic.
This is going to be maybe a tough one to live up to here tonight, but getting ready for qualifying to get rolling here. 117 laps going to be the distance at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Stage breaks at lap 30 and lap 65. We're going to get the caution at lap 65, and this is going purely by memory here, but if I remember correctly, 62, 63 laps was kind of the number on the fuel windows at these 1.5s. That makes things really interesting of, can you save enough fuel to make it to the end of stage 2? Do you even try it? Do you take tires? How do you split the race up? This really could go a lot of different ways.
It just depends on what the weather is doing, where the clouds decide to fall over, what the billboards decide to put shadows on. If we get a nice warm track, sunlight directly on it, I see these guys taking lots of tires. Every time they can, use them until they're all gone. If the track is nice and shaded like it looks like right now, I can see him staying out a little bit and kind of pushing the issue and seeing how long they'll last.
Well, this is where things could start to get a little bit interesting here. Following along with Will Worsler at the moment, we'll take a look at the weather conditions. Partly cloudy skies, 78 degrees the track temperature. Wind's going to be out of basically the south at 4 miles an hour. But a 103-degree track temperature. This place is going to be absolutely chewing up these Goodyear Racing Eagles.
Yeah, you can see right now the billboards are shading turn 1, 2, but with the way the sun moves and the cloud cover, I don't see the situation staying that way the whole race. This track is a very dynamic track. That's what makes it so much fun. The track you start the green flag on and the track you take the checkered flag on are 2 different tracks. It is one of my favorite 1.5 miles to go to. It's the original cookie cutter.
Yes. This one is definitely going to be an interesting one to watch here. And the other one I think it's really going to come into play is going to be qualifications, and track position is going to be absolutely huge in this one here tonight, if only because passing can be a little bit difficult, especially if you're trying to save tires. It's going to be important to qualify up near the front here tonight.
Oh yeah, qualifying is immensely important here. It is possible to pass here. It's a very racy racetrack, but it's not easy, and it does hurt your tires a bit. So you kind of got to play chess, especially if you're way back in the field and having to come up through it. It's very, very difficult. This is a track that rewards those with patience.
Well, and one of those guys who can be immensely patient, making his way down the back straightaway, is Johnny Avila. And let's pick up Andrew Moore Jr. on the side-by-side. We'll give you the run through qualifications as everybody makes their way around the racetrack here. And Johnny Avila, he's been impressive. He has a 43-point lead entering tonight's race. A tie for second in points between Colton Harvey and Kevin Dick. Will Worsler 24 points back. Starting to get towards the tail end of the season a little bit here. If you're going to make a move, especially anybody trying to take down Johnny Avila, you're going to have to do this pretty quick.
Yeah, you kind of want to get in front of him, get that clean air, and force Johnny Avila to stay in the dirty air. But it's going to be tough. He lays down the first lap at a 30.63 seconds. And Andrew Moore, Kevin Dick equal, but everyone else is well off the mark.
Oh, how about
Brad
it? Here's
Allison
quick time.
getting the pole.
Yeah, Brad Allison with a great lap at a 30.55 on lap number 1. Johnny Avila making his way around to complete lap number 2, as is Andrew Moore Jr. We'll slide over to Brad Allison once Avila comes across the line here. See what lap number 2 looks like for Avila. It will be quicker, but not good enough at a 35.86. Pick up Tim Knott. Oh, how? Yeah, let's see. We'll pick up Tim Knott on the right-hand side of your screen. New quick time top of the board. Kevin Dick in the 52, 30.480 seconds. That's a heater. Pick up on the left side, the number 14 of A.J. Digby. And let's see, we'll find Corbin Simmons in the number 10. Get him up on the right-hand side of your screen. Digby going to be 7th quick at a 30.673. Lap number 1 on the board for Corbin Simmons, and it will be... Oh, I'm sorry, he's just starting lap number 1. So lap number 2 coming up here for Digby. He's going to finish in just a second. Dick, Allison, Knott, Avila, Andrew Moore, the top 5 to this point. Big moment off of turn 4 for A.J. Digby. See what lap number 2 looks like. It's going to be an improvement. Good enough for 4th quick at a 30.574. Colton Harvey in the 36 making his way onto the racetrack. The Ron John Surf Shops entry. Heading down the back straightaway on his out lap. The number 10 of Corbin Simmons only going to be good for 14th quick at a 31.150. See what lap number 2 will look like as he makes his way down the back straightaway. Good lap for Tim Knott as well, up to position number 3 at a 30.541. Johnny Avila already back to 5th. New quick time, top of the board. Troy Haight to the 30.478 seconds, 30.47 with an 8. Good lap there for the 28 machine. Seems like everybody we're not following are the guys that are flying around this place right now. We'll pick up one of the guys involved in some of the issues last week, Max Williams. I'll tell you what, the discussion in the Discord got a little bit spicy here, Patrick. Oh, big hit into the outside wall for Colton Harvey on lap 2. He's 0.06 of a second back in 5th. Not the way he wanted to have that run end. Tyler Seville coming around to complete lap number 1. I mean, you talked about it. There were some hurt feelings, some spiciness going on in the chat.
I mean, it's Talladega.
Yeah. That's it. It's Talladega. Just sometimes you got to just deal with it.
That's half the fun.
Tyler Seville taking an interesting route down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. He's 6 quick at the completion of lap number 1, 30.55 with an 8. Lap number 2 getting ready to come up. Oh, yeah, and he just decides to bin it up into the outside wall. So Tyler Seville will have to live on lap number 1. That's only going to be good for 6 quick. Johnny Avila going to roll off 8th here tonight. At 8th at best as Max Williams comes around to complete lap number 2. He moves up to 7th quick, 30.57, 30.572 seconds for Max Williams. So Daniel Pinkston, the only driver still completing laps here at the moment, waiting on Mike McConville to get out onto the racetrack as well. See what lap number 2 will look like for Daniel Pinkston. Still 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining on the clock here in qualifications. Lap number 2 for Pinkston, he was 19th. He's going to stay 19th at a 32.442. Lap number 1 was actually the better of the two. About a half-second drop-off to lap number 2 for car 22. Interesting lineup here towards the top of the field here, Bizzle. Troy Haight, he's quick, but not a guy we necessarily see qualifying up front week in and week out. Kevin Dick, he's competing for a championship. There's a lot of competing interests here going on. Some guys looking for race wins, some guys needing the points for the championship. This could get just as spicy as we saw last week, quite frankly.
Oh, yeah, and these next-gen cars at the mile and a halfs are crazy. It's almost makes the mile and a halfs feel like what the super speedways were in the 80s and early 90s before they started putting restrictor plates on the cars, or right when they did start putting restrictor plates on the cars. You do have to slow down a little bit, but it's still one big pack, and you're all going for it.
Well, the final car to qualify is getting out onto the racetrack. Oh, another fantastic throwback S car from Mike McConville this week. I like the spec map on it as well. Nice chrome job on the front. Circuit City, the colors on that one.
Ah, yes, the brand that tried to sell DVDs that break themselves after you watch them once.
That is correct. One of the most environmentally unsustainable schemes of all time. A DVD you can watch once and have to throw in the trash.
I wonder why Circuit City failed.
Let's go on board with Mike McConville as he heads down the back straightaway. McConville out of Cape May, New Jersey.
Beautiful Cape May, New Jersey.
Yeah, Cape May is nice. Definitely one of the nicer areas on the Jersey Shore. Way down in the peninsula end of it. Lap number 1 going to be 13th quick at a 30.727. You can see from the gyro cam on the onboard, there's a whole lot of banking at this place. The other one that's of interest here is not a ton of lift on the throttle either. Little bit of a breathe through the corners, but that's about it. Something tells me you're not going to see that continue throughout the race here, though. '11th quick for Mike McConville at a 30.611. That makes 20 cars attempting to qualify. All 20 setting a lap time. Troy Haight going to be your pole sitter at a 30.478. Count them, 2 1,000ths separating Troy Haight from Kevin Dick.
It's just, even looking at the top 9, a tenth of a second apart at a mile and a half. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. And actually, we talk about looking for a quarter of a second. That's kind of like the blink of an eye, you want to think about. 14th place, Corbin Simmons is a quarter of a second back. This is going to be wild. The other thing is, from Simmons back to 20th place, Daniel Pinkston, 7-ish cars in that list, it drops off to 2 seconds off the pole speed. We're definitely having we're going to see some drivers here tonight that are going to fight their race cars a little bit. The name that really surprising me right now, Will Worsler, back in 16th, almost a half second off the pace.
Hunter Waters also back there.
This one will be interesting, to say the least. Got to thank everybody that's tuned in here on YouTube and on Twitch. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Give us a comment. Give us the shout in the comment box, whether it's down below or on the side or wherever the heck you have it on your device. Let us know where you're watching from, who's your pick to win tonight. Give us the team shout-outs here and all that kind of stuff. And just as importantly, just chat us up here. We like to talk to you guys about whatever's going on in the racing world. Joey Logano, your 2022 real-world NASCAR champion. There's some opinions on that one. We'll get to that subject here in just a little bit, but let's pick up the front of the field and show you tonight's starting grid. Presented by SimSpeedShop.com. We'll tell you a little bit about them here in just a minute as well, but there you see it. Troy Haight lining up alongside Kevin Dick. 2 1,000ths of a second separating your top two. Brad Allison and Tim Knott on row number 2. How about still not a 10th? You want to find a 10th? We got to keep going. Colton Harvey, Tyler Seville on row number 3. Row 4, Max Williams and AJ Digby. Then you get to a 10th of a second. Johnny Avila and Andrew Moore Jr. This race is going to be so tight at the front. I can't wait. Row number 6, we'll have New Jersey's Mike McConville and Canada's Tony Patton. Row number 7 will be Thomas Wilhite and Corbin Simmons. Row 8, John Moeller and Will Worsler. Row number 9, Joshua Morris and Richard Smith. And in row number 10, Hunter Waters and Daniel Pinkston. 20 cars for 117 laps here around the Charlotte Motor Speedway. As we said at the top of the show, stage breaks at lap 30 and lap 65. One of those will have a yellow, one of those will not, and it's going to be at lap number 65 where we get the yellow flag for the stage break. Cole played watching from behind the wheel of the 36. All right. We'll take it. Enjoy the show. I guess, Patrick, you have somebody you can crew chief now. You're the world's worst iRacing crew chief. So you have somebody you can try to take care of.
I wouldn't say I'm the world's worst iRacing crew chief. I just don't think I'm winning any Pro Series races. You put me in an Advanced Legends Cup race, D-Class 40 laps, I can crew chief the crap out of that race.
Yes, you can. You are fantastic at the fixed setup crew chiefing.
Fixed setup, no pit stops. Let's send her, bud.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome. Field making their way down the backstretch. Got to get all the big sponsor plugs and thank yous in here. And like we said, we'll get to them in just a minute. But big thank you to SimSpeedShop.com. They are providing the championship trophy, which is a NASCAR-style steering wheel for your sim rig. I would imagine these guys on direct drive wheels and stuff you can swap out the hardware on, but we'll tell you a little bit more about them in just a bit. Field making their way through turns 3 and 4. It's going to be Troy Haight and Kevin Dick on the front row. And as always, race fans, the start of this one, going to be all yours. Through the dog leg for the first time, it's going to be Troy Haight leading lap number 1 over Kevin Dick, Brad Allison, Tim Knott, and Colton Harvey. Johnny Avila already picking up a couple of spots up to 7th. Will Worsler up 2, Richard Smith, Hunter Waters both up 2. John Moeller down 3 to start this race. Tyler Seville losing a couple of spots. Oh, one car hard into the inside wall. Big hit down the back straightaway. That looked like it was Thomas Wilhite. Huge hit for Wilhite, but we're going to stay green. He was off the racing line.
That one's going to hurt.
Yeah, you're going to be feeling that one tomorrow, bud.
Did you see, I believe it was last week or the previous week, a sim racer got injured in the real world. Direct drive wheel and fractured a wrist.
I believe it. You get these things torqued up, and there's a whole lot of force going through some of these direct drive wheels.
Oh yeah, something like they'll peak out at 30 Newton meters when you hit the wall. That's
No
more
thanks.
torque than my lawnmower peaks. I
Yes.
think that's three times the torque my go-kart makes. It's incredible. I should just strap a direct drive wheel to the back of my car.
So things settled down here at the front. We've got a little bit of a breakaway. Going to be, let's see, back to the top 6 all in line. 7th place Andrew Moore, about 2 seconds back. He is leading up that second pack. Will Worsler trying to chew his way through the field here pretty quickly, already up 5. Andrew Moore Jr. up 3 as well, but he got way up towards the outside wall. That one of those strategies of maybe trying to save a little bit of tire here early on in the race, though.
Yeah, you can get away with running the high side here and saving tires. The only problem is it's kind of slow. The best way around this track is just the traditional hit the apex at the bottom, ride the corner, and swing it back out to the outside wall.
Take a look here and see if we can't get you a replay of what happened to Thomas Wilhite here. Oh, he may have had a little bit of contact from Will Worsler. A little bit of left side loving, but that 19 machine hard into the inside wall. In fact, he really kind of pounded the wall twice. Oh, one car spinning. That's Tony Patton spinning towards the back of the field as well, and that's going to bring out the caution. Caution number 1 on the racetrack at lap number 7, and it's Tony Patton going for a spin and contact with the outside safer barrier in turn number 2. Oh, he got help. Dipsy-doo dumperoo. Middle of turn 2. See if we can't get a little bit better look at who that may have been. But definitely some contact there for Tony Patton, unfortunately putting that machine up into the outside wall. Oh, it was the 10. Little bit of a twitch out of Corbin Simmons, just enough to get Tony Patton, and he was hard into the outside safer barrier. So now as we go back to the lead, we'll have to take a look. The rule here in this league, Patrick, you only get 2 sets of tires. I can't imagine we're going to see anybody down pit road other than maybe some guys at the back of the field who will take this opportunity for fuel only to try to stretch that out to the lap 65 window.
Yeah, I can definitely see taking fuel here and then clutching and coasting under the caution.
Yeah, seen a couple drivers doing that. It looks like Max Williams, Mike McConville also going to be coming down pit lane this time. Corbin Simmons heading down pit lane as well. Tony Patton is still on the racetrack. Thomas Wilhite getting the repairs done, but no backup cars available in this one. Very short pit stop for Max Williams. 5.73 seconds. The time of the stop there for car number 8. Seeing guys, some of these guys, Colton Harvey, Johnny Avila, all the way down on the apron in turns 1 and 2. Trying to cool the tires off, I'm assuming. Find the asphalt that has not been used a ton.
see Colton Harvey now. Looks like he is going to pit, or maybe he's just running the apron trying to save fuel. As his crew chief for tonight, I taught him that one. Glad he's taking my advice, learning. Johnny Avila doing the same thing.
Well, I wonder, it can be a way to cool the tires down as well. You find the asphalt that's the coolest with a really hot track temperature like we have. You get off the racing lines, get way down to the inside of the racetrack, try to get as much heat out of the tires as you possibly can.
Yeah, if you were doing that, now down here on the apron where these billboards are, absolutely, but I would think you'd want to be right up against the wall. The only thing I'd be worried about up there is all the marbles, but those would get cleaned off on the one to go lap, so I don't know if that'd be that much of an issue.
Well, we'll take a look here. See who we may have to talk to. Looks like Tony Patton is... Yeah, he is on pit lane as well here. Field's going to get the one to go signal this next time by. And let's see if we can't sneak in a quick word here with Tony Patton. Got to get him up into the room here anyway first. Tony, tough break here early on in this race. Tell us what kind of your perspective was on this one.
I got dumped.
Yeah, that's it's one way to say it.
Simple. I got dumped. He said I hit on the comms. He said I hit the wall. I didn't touch the wall. I was down cleanly, and he tried to do it a lap, or he got into me a lap or two before too. So
that's tough. Tough way to go out early here in this one. Car, I guess, yeah. Looks like you're getting back out onto the racetrack here. So good luck, but a long way to go from here.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So there you go, Tony Patton. Well, I guess I can say I would probably not be real happy either in that scenario. Frustrating to have that kind of thing happen early on.
Yeah, especially this early on, and especially that far back in the pack. I mean, I can get it if you're fighting for the lead, especially with a stage break coming up. Yeah, I could see running real hard like that, but way back in the field this early, I'd say keep distance between the cars no matter what end of the hit you're on.
Yeah. Yes, I would tend to agree with that. Field making their way through turns 3 and 4. Going to give you a little bit of a different look here on the restart. This time, we are going to go on board with Brad Allison as the pace truck hits pit lane, and green flag goes back in the air. Troy Haight able to jump out to a nice lead here on the restart. Side-by-side battle going to be Brad Allison on the outside. Corbin Simmons down on the inside of the racetrack. Battle for the lead, heating up off of turn number 2. Troy Haight going to have to fight off Kevin Dick. Dick down to the inside. They're bagging fenders into 3. Oh, man, Tim Knott all the way up to the safer barrier mid-corner. May have gotten a little bit of a touch there from Colton Harvey at the line this time by. Going to be Kevin Dick, new race leader.
Colton Harvey with a fantastic move blocking off the run coming behind him. He's going to choose the high side now, trying to keep up these two leaders.
Yeah, Tim Knott having a really good run there in the 41, able to try a little bit of a crossover maneuver on Colton Harvey, and Knott's going to get the pass completed here just before the start-finish line. Brad Allison going to come down to the inside of Colton Harvey as well here. Maybe a little bit discretion, the better part of valor there, because Harvey just gives up the spot, slots back in. Now everybody can kind of settle in. Pull up the side-by-side here is Will Worsler leading Johnny Avila, then Tyler Seville, Andrew Moore Jr. battling with Max Williams just at the tail end. We'll swap the boxes around for you, so get the good battle here in the big screen on the left-hand side. Oh, 3 wide off of turn 2, still 3 wide down the back straightaway. Williams going to be able to clear Seville. Absolutely insane racing here, a little bit deeper in the pack. Max Williams inside of Andrew Moore, giving the shove to Johnny Avila as Will Worsler able to clear. He's easily your hard charger of the race, up 10 spots. Now Max Williams going to want a piece, though. He heads down to the inside, bringing Mike McConville with him. That's a couple of team cars for the YJ Esports crew. They're showing a little bit more speed this season than what we saw out of them last season. They were really good at the plate tracks. They worked well together as a team. This season, it really feels like that YJ Esports team getting the package put together at the 1.5 miles, and things are really starting to click well for them.
Yeah, a lot of it is just practice, building your rhythm, getting very, very consistent, and that's what makes you a good 1.5 mile racer. And patience, most of all. You go meditate, maybe a trip to the Himalayas, hang out with some monks. It makes you a really, really good 1.5 mile racer.
Yes. Will Worsler Racing getting some love in the comments here. We'll get this. Actually, we have 2 we'll get up here from Clay Kennedy checking in. You know who he's supporting? The Bulldog Rootworks colors on the profile picture there on YouTube.
But he's rooting for Will Worsler.
Well, he was giving Will a shout out, but he's got the Johnny Avila Bulldog on the side of their on the profile picture there. So interesting here at the front of the field. We're going to stay back here because this is where all the battling is taking place. At the front of the field, it's really gotten quiet to the point of 8,
Troy
9
Hate's
tenths of a
running
second
away.
by Troy Haight. Yeah. Troy Haight running away. Let's slide up here a little bit because Kevin Dick's going to have to contend with Brad Allison and Tim Knott. This is 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on the racetrack. I'm wondering if we're not seeing a little bit of a charge here out of Max Williams and Mike McConville. Those are the first 2 guys that stopped on lap number 8. Corbin Simmons stopped as well, but he had a little bit of damage. Oh, we've got caution on the racetrack. Yellow flag is out. Trouble for John Moeller. Black Clover, number 83 Chevrolet Camaro, sideways on the front straightaway.
Can't park there, bud.
That is correct. Let's see what happened here. Coming through the dog leg. Oh! Big hit from Tony Patton. Not sure what happened there. Good Lord. Try another look at that one, but
Tony Patton, you can see him
loose.
Loose in the first quad, and just he catches the car, he saves it, but fortunately the 83 was in the way.
Yeah, take a look. There's Tony Patton. He is all sorts of squirrely, almost like something broke, either in the sim rig or on the race car itself. Well, maybe not, because he was able to get the car turned, but way loose off of turn 4.
Do we have a cockpit shot of Tony Patton's car?
We can get you one. Yeah, you can hear the tires squealing. He was
that car was all over the place
too. He was not having fun behind the wheel of that machine.
Wow, he might not have. That's my favorite way to drive a race car.
Yes, you are that guy that wants to be, what is it, loose is fast?
Loose is fast. Yes, sir.
Let's see. Let's pick up Troy Haight here, and then we'll get to the comments. Tommy Time saying, car junked. Good luck, guys. Tried to stop from sliding back up into cars after wrecking and managed to hit the inside wall a second time. Yeah.
Well, at least you sacrifice yourself to save the rest of the pack. That's a very honorable thing to do.
Yeah, Thomas Woolheit was the one that was speaking of himself there. That was very early on. That was our first caution flag of the night. This is now caution number 3, and we're only at lap number 23. I would think this puts a lot of drivers within range now of possibly, if you were close, you're probably there in terms of making the number to get to the end of stage 2. What really becomes interesting to me, though, is that then changes your strategy pretty significantly. If you can go to 67, no, 69 you would have to go to. If you can get to lap 69, you could make this a very nice one-stop race.
All right, so Colton Harvey, here's what we're going to do. We're going to hit the nice number. Going to make a pit stop then under green. Doesn't matter. You're only going to stop once. And we're going to take this field on. If he's still listening. He might have tuned me out. Again, I am the worst crew chief in all of iRacing.
Well, we give you a hard time about that, but we will give a series plug here. The TNT, it was the kind of the summer series. We screwed around with the Mercedes GT3 on ovals, and we figured out it was really fun. So now this one, not broadcast or anything, but now we have a series of super speedways and large ovals in GT3 cars that have all been BOP'd together to basically run in a pack.
Actually, I decided against the BOP because in some more testing, I discovered I'd have to BOP it for every single track. The iRacing Super Speedway BOP took about 4 hours to do for 3 cars. So we've decided to go with BMW Z4. Super fun. It's a little bit slower, a little bit lighter than the Mercedes was, but it can bump draft like a semi-truck. You can absolutely freight train somebody, and both cars are fine. They don't get squirrely. It's a blast. Next week's race, Tuesday night, session opens at 10 o'clock. We're running Nashville Super Speedway. It's going to be fantastic.
Okay, so Colton Harvey is checking in the comments. He's throwing some shade on your strategy call here. He says, LOL, stage caution at 65.
I know there's a stage caution at 65. That's why you're going to catch the field unexpected. You're going to stay out, and then you're going to throw them all off by pitting at 69.
Now, if this is something we have seen a little bit here in the Sim Racers Club. The races are typically extraordinarily clean. My gut tells me we're going to end up with, this is not going to be a caution fest. At some point, you're going to start logging a ton of laps. Could you, I don't think you could go 68 laps or something like that. Does that possibly become a strategy and just say, hey, I'm going to do I only have to stop once. I'm going to do the stop under green like you just have to hope that everybody else has to stop under green as well. For
I'm going to say no. You absolutely don't do that strategy because you're going to be taking tires on that stop. If it was a fuel-only stop, you can make it work under green.
Well, we'll see. Green flag goes back in the air. Troy Haight, absolutely fantastic launch out of the restart zone. He's going to lead the pack to turn number 1. First fight's going to be back there with, looks like Colton Harvey, side by side with Max Williams off of turn number 2. Tim Knott slides up the racetrack. That opens the door for Harvey down the back straightaway. I'm really interested that we're not seeing a ton of Will Worsler racing. A lot of that heavy iron here at the front as they go 3 wide. Big dive by Mike McConville down to the inside. Oh, man, Max Williams, he's in a hornet's nest back there. See, as soon as I talk about them not showing a ton of speed just yet, here comes Johnny Avila, Tyler Seville up the inside, going to work on Tim Knott. That's going to put Johnny Avila up to the 6th position. 3 to go here in stage number 1. Colton Harvey having to peek down inside of Brad Allison for 3rd. That can be a dangerous spot because that guy who's on the outside, the slightest little bit of extra wheel input, and all of a sudden he's down turning himself on your front bumper.
Yeah, it is very, very difficult. It's kind of like driving on the LIE, driving towards Manhattan at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Except they're doing it at 180 miles an hour.
Oh, gosh, so squirrely off the turn, too. McConville slides up the racetrack. Might have had a little bit of help there from Johnny Avila, but Avila's down to the inside. Oh, there's contact! Avila spins down to the inside of the racetrack. Caution is out. Oh, and there's more wrecking going on down the front stretch. That looked like Will Worsler hard into the outside safer barrier. It was. Stage number 1 will end under caution. Now it's a matter of where does iRacing sort everybody out here?
Nobody knows.
I can tell you that this time it's going to be Kevin Dick crossing the start-finish line first. He will see the green and white checkered and take the win in stage number 1. He will get picked up by the iRacing safety truck down the back straightaway. But now we got to go back and look at this because Troy Haight was not the reason. I mean, I guess one of the cars that started this mess, but take a look at what happened here. A little bit of contact from Brad Allison. Troy Haight, Johnny Avila got involved. I'll tell you what, it wasn't a huge hit for Troy Haight, though. I think Johnny Avila may have gotten the worst of that one. How did Brad Allison and Mike McConville not wad up their race cars huge? But Avila running through the artificial turf, he's going to have at least a little bit of damage. And as we go back to the live look here, Brad Allison is on the pit lane. Johnny Avila is on the pit lane, hitting his box. There you see Mike McConville on pit lane. And Avila looks like he may be stationary there for a little bit. McConville getting back out onto the racetrack. Let's slide back. We'll pick up the Troy Haight machine. Crew going around to the left-hand side. He's going to take his first set of tires there. The 03 of Brad Allison getting some work done. There's Johnny Avila. That car sitting stationary doing the damage repair, as is Will Worsler in the number 29. An expensive incident there for the Will Worsler racing crew. 3 machines currently sitting parked on pit lane. Brad Allison, Johnny Avila, and the boss man, Will Worsler. Let's see if we can't sneak a word in here with your points leader, Johnny Avila. And Johnny, a tough incident out there. Cars kind of pinballing around off each other, and then all of a sudden you were in the middle of the mess.
Yeah, it's just frustrating. I don't know if somebody got into somebody there. Like, we were 3 wide, but track seems big enough to hold it. So I'm not sure. I didn't see a replay or anything.
Well, tough break to this point in the race. How badly damaged is the car, and how long are you going to be sitting on pit lane?
I got about like 5 minutes of damage. I had some required. The steering wheel's pretty bent, but I'm gonna go 1 lap down, see how much I can fix, and maybe fix the rest of it at the next yellow.
All right, bud. Well, good luck the rest of the way here. We appreciate you checking in with us.
Thank you, bud. Hopefully I can make a comeback.
Well, there we go. There's Johnny Avila already thinking comeback. Tony Patton is on pit lane as well in the number 86. Troy Haight is on the racetrack, but he is going to be the last car on the lead lap in the 14th position. John Moeller, we can tell you, is back on the speedway. He is a handful of laps down, however, currently being scored 9 laps in arrears of the field. And this one turning into a little bit of a marathon here, Patrick. 33, almost 34 laps on the board. It's taken 27, almost 28 minutes to complete those 33 laps. Does that kind of change your thought process as a driver? You show up to these SRC races, you're used to running these things caution-free. Does it get you a little bit frustrated, a little bit antsy behind the wheel? Like, hey, come on, let's just log some laps here.
Absolutely. It's the same way in any kind of race you go into. You just want to log laps, you want to get to the finish, and caution laps suck, especially as a driver. Sitting here in the booth, we got stuff to talk about, talking to each other, talking to the drivers. When you're sitting in that car, it's like listening to the GPS telling you, left turn, recalculating. It's like, come on, man, I just want to go green.
I want to go fast. Well, it's going to be an interesting one here, as we are now 30 laps away, 31, I guess, away from the end of stage number 2. We're going to get ready and see the green flag to start this second stage here. Johnny Avila, as he mentioned, went 1 lap down, took care of the required repairs. We'll see what the car is going to be able to do without getting the rest of the work done. But this race has taken on a completely different dimension. And quite frankly, we saw this in qualifying too. Some unfamiliar names up towards the front. There's a whole lot going on here in this one. Kevin Dick, Colton Harvey on row 1. Tyler Seville, Tim Knott on row 2. Field's coming back to green. Y'all at home, go ahead and crank it up. Everybody behaving themselves to this point on the restart, getting themselves single filed out here as we work lap number 36, and that's really kind of the key to getting laps in here. I would think, Patrick, is settle yourself in, hit your marks, and everybody just kind of try to take it easy a little bit.
Yeah, everyone's kind of in the same mindset of, I'm sick of doing caution laps. Let's just settle in, drive in circles for a little bit.
23,
but
Richards.
There's always going to be a guy or two that wants to go fast and wants to pass some race cars. So.
Well, yeah, one of those has been Richard Smith. He is having a great run tonight in the Petro Canada number 23. Currently running in the 6th position. He's your hard charger of the race, up 12. And all over the back bumper, and Tim Knott through the middle of 3 and 4. You definitely kind of have to change your mindset when you have a race of attrition like we're seeing. Some of these guys may be in line for a potential career best finish here in the Sim Racers Club. That
Yeah,
really
a lot of
kind of
heavy
changes the
hitters
thought
got-
process.
A lot of heavy hitters got taken out so far. Maybe not taken out, but definitely had a damper put on their night. Oh man, hang on to her. I didn't get to see who that was, but someone was real loose going through the quad.
That may have been Corbin Simmons in the 10 by the fact that that car is way up on the outside of the racetrack. Finally able to grab a handle on it. Man, that car a little twitchy off the turn 2. If I remember correctly, there used to be a really nasty bump at the exit of turn 2, which could kind of make things a mess for these drivers as well.
Oh yeah, it can get a little sketchy. They used to run Indy cars here, right? That's not just a figment of my imagination.
The Indy cars ran here exactly once. New race leader off of turn number 2, Tyler Seville coming around Kevin Dick. Best way to stay out of trouble is to stay away from trouble. Get yourself out to the front of the field and adios amigos. Seville not quite able to check out, and that's a product of this next-gen car. They are very good in dirty air, and it kind of feels like the leader's just not able to check out like they used to.
Yeah, especially with that diffuser, it doesn't create nearly as much dirty air as before. All of that air coming off the back of the car is nice, straight, and streamlined now, and it's still going to help out the car behind.
There you go, seeing Richard Smith making the move on Tim Knott. That's going to put him inside the top 5. Troy Haight says thank you very much. Leave that door open, I'll come right through it, as is Andrew Moore. Moore already looking to the inside and not down the back straightaway. Hit the battle for the race lead up here on the right-hand side of the screen. Your top 3 absolutely opening up a gap. Tyler Seville, Kevin Dick, Colton Harvey. Max Williams with a good run up to the 4th position. Max having a, quite frankly, a very good season this year. Currently sitting 10th in the point standings, but he does have a win. 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s. Kind of consistently, kind of back end of the top 10 there, Patrick. That's really what you want to do if you want to have any shot of a decent finish in the points.
Yeah, I mean, especially under the old point system for NASCAR, consistency was rewarded a hell of a lot more than going out there and winning. I'd much rather finish top 5 every single week than rack up 5 wins and the rest of last place finishes.
Yeah, there is something to be said for feeling good about a season where you were just really consistent. Not lighting the world on fire by any stretch, but good enough to know week in and week out you were going to be able to be there when it came, you know, when it was go time towards the end. Knocking on wood here, but getting into a little bit of a green flag run as we work lap number 46. That's going to be the first really long run we've had here in this race. Oh, a little bit of contact. Hold on to it. Nice save, Corbin Simmons. Mike McConville is going to try to go 2 for 1. A.J. Digby going to follow him through. 3 wide, middle of turn number 1. They're cleared and settled down. McConville, thank you, sir. May I have another? 1 was good, 2's twice as nice. Up to the 9th position goes the 57. Battle for the lead starting to heat up a little bit. Troy Haight catching in on Tyler Seville. Finding himself a little bit of clean air, ducked out down to the inside, down the back straightaway, runs a higher line through 3 and 4. Now, Troy Haight, one of the cars that has taken tires, he used a set at the caution at lap number 30. So he's only going to have 1 set left. Does that put you at a real disadvantage here? I would imagine only if you get a late caution could it kind of jam you up.
It could, but at the same time, if everyone else goes down there and takes a set of tires and you don't, depending on how late the caution is, you might be able to hang on. I've definitely seen a couple races where guy in old tires was able to hold on for a lap or 2, and sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, well, and the other thing is, if you're going to have to make another stop, you're going to do it at the stage break. If you need, I would imagine these guys are going to take their first set of tires. If they choose to take a second set late in the race, unless it's under caution, your final stop is a splash and go. Everybody else may take tires. That could be a big advantage.
Yeah, I mean, anything longer than a couple laps, you're going to get eaten alive, but you already got heat in your tires. That'll help you for about a lap. After that, it's all you. You just got to hang on.
Yep, and especially if you're talking about green flag pit stops too. That's the other big one. Good battle here. Andrew Moore Jr., Max Williams fighting for position number 5. Mike McConville is going to be right there as well. Ooh, almost a little bit of contact into Williams. Conville down to the inside, down the front straightaway. He'll get that pass cleared, and McConville having a very solid night right now. Up 5 spots from the start of this race, now running in the 6th position. 5-lap average, about a 10th quicker than the leaders. Right in line with where they are over the 15-lap average. Strong night thus far for the 57. Tough break for Will Worsler. Looks like he may be out of this race here this evening. Let's head down to the infield care center and see if we can't pick up a quick word here with Will. And Will, saw you started to come out of the pits after about 5.5 minutes worth of repairs. Had to take the tow right back in. Looks like the night may be done.
Yeah, it's done. By the time they got everything able to go back out on the track, it was I was 10 laps down, and I feel like I'd be better served to kind of spot for the guys and help them out here and there. You know, as traffic ebbs and flows.
Yeah, it was a tough break coming through that incident. Kind of bounced it off the outside safer barrier after you had already cleared the main incident. Talk us through kind of what happened and what you were able to see from your perspective.
I haven't went back and looked at it. I still don't know what happened. I just know that something happened up in front of me. It looked like initially that everybody was kind of spinning or moving to the inside that was involved. So I was kind of late getting out of the gas, but I thought better of it and then slowed down. And I thought that Brad Allison had his car under control and was pulling it back out of the track. And by the time I realized that was not the case, he came up into me and we both were out. He knocked me into the wall, and I should have used a little bit more caution there, and I'd still be in the race, but I didn't. And you know, it is what it is. It's one of those races for me, I guess.
All right, Bob. Tough break there. Hopefully, we'll be talking to you again next week under a little bit better circumstances.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Will Worsler out of this race early on. He will finish in the 18th position. Couple of decent battles out here on the racetrack. We'll grab a hold of, actually, we'll bring them up on the side-by-side. Here with Kevin Dick, Colton Harvey fighting for the 3rd position on the left-hand side of your screen. Right-hand side of the screen, you're going to have AJ Digby and... trying to see who that's... yeah, that's Max Williams just up on the outside of him. And already closing in pretty quickly on Andrew Moore Jr. Going back to the full screen look here on this battle between Kevin Dick and Colton Harvey. Now working lap number 59. Stage points are what's up for grabs at this point, Patrick. Do you want to be really aggressive here late if you're Colton Harvey, or just knowing how this race has gone, do you kind of ride it out and go, hey, I can handle 4th place stage points?
I would definitely say 4th place stage points is perfectly okay with me. Because there's still a checkered flag that someone's got to take home, and if your car's not there to make it, well, you're going to get left behind.
How about things heating up for the lead here? Tyler Seville having a look inside of Troy Haight. Haight, your lap leader to this point, having led 36 of the 61 circuits. Bring back up the side-by-side here as well, as you just saw AJ Digby head to the inside of Andrew Moore Jr. Digby going to move up to position number 6. Man, this fight for the lead is fantastic. Seville not able to clear at the start-finish line, but he may be able to get the job done through 1 and 2. I think a little bit here, Patrick, we're starting to see maybe where the kind of fall off in tires is as well. At least the cliff where everybody's running on the same junk anyway. As Troy Haight only has 30 laps on his tires, 61 on the Goodyears for Tyler Seville.
Yeah, 61 laps on the set of tires is going to be very, very rough. I would think he's looking to pit and grab some fresh rubber for those things fairly soon. With this lap 65 caution coming, I can guarantee it'll be stopping.
Yeah, we're going to see everybody down pit lane to get those fresh Goodyears. 2 to go here in the stage. Only real battle on the racetrack right now going to be between Corbin Simmons and Daniel Pinkston. This is the battle for the 11th position. Giving each other plenty of room, which is nice off of turn 4, because the way that banking flattens out, it is not real friendly on these race cars.
No. It is very aggressive.
One lap to go here in stage number 2, and Mike McConville is going to have to hold off AJ Digby. That 14 machine looks really good. I believe McConville has also used a set of tires. He's got, it looks like 33 laps on those Goodyears, so Off of turn number 4, green and white checkered is in the air, and this time it will go to Tyler Seville, claiming the win here in stage number 2. We'll see the caution flag here in just a moment. And there it is, off of turn number 2. We are under caution once again here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, but Tyler Seville picking up the win in stage 2. Tyler, always a serious contender in this league. Not this second half of the season, however, with the issues after Hurricane Ian knocking him out of action for a couple of weeks. Currently sitting 6th in the point standings, 92 back of the points lead, but he's only 12 back of Andrew Moore, and then it's another 13 to Will Worsler. So still a lot of ground to be gained here for Tyler Seville. Could finish as high as 3rd or 4th in points. Field getting packed up behind the iRacing safety truck. We will see just about everybody down pit lane this time. At least I would think we're going to see everybody down pit lane. There is Tyler Seville leading the freight train. Thus far, everybody on the lead lap. And there you go. We see it, everybody on the lead lap making their way down pit lane. This is going to be a good shot for Johnny Avila to get some of the non-required repairs taken care of. Take the break here under the caution. Make your pit stops. Get the work done that you need. Can't necessarily count out Johnny Avila here yet in this one. And well, I am interested here. Andrew Moore Jr. did not stop. I think he may have missed his pit box. Because I am seeing a 0 for the pit count here for Andrew Moore. Let's follow up on this one here, but it looks like he was on pit lane, but did not stop. And I think, yeah, we're going to see Andrew Moore Jr. come down pit lane this time. That's a tough break for the 77. Like we said, I'm pretty sure he just missed the pit box.
You want to avoid doing that. You definitely want to stop in the box.
Yes. Yeah, it looks like, I think, did he overshoot it? Yeah, he did. He overshot it there, too. So that's kind of interesting. But Andrew Moore Jr. going to have to get a bunch of work done here on pit lane pretty quickly. He will tag in at the back of the lead lap. He is down and away with service completed. You saw Johnny Avila on the pit lane as well. So Tyler Seville will be your race leader when we come back to green, followed by Troy Haight on his outside, Kevin Dick, Colton Harvey on row 2, Mike McConville, AJ Digby on row number 3. And let's see if we can't get a word here with Mike McConville under the caution flag. Mike, strong run there for the Circuit City number 57. This race turning into a little bit of a battle of attrition, but what are your thoughts here as we get ready to head into the second half?
I think we're going to put on a show for you. We figured some stuff out at the second end of that run there from the end of stage 1. We're going to be digging. Highly confident right now.
Highly confident is a good thing to hear out of a race car driver. What are the thoughts here? Is that a tire management thing? Is it just how to drive on the older tires? What is it that you think you figured out without giving away state secrets or anything here?
Well, state secrets don't have to do anything with tires, but you definitely have to take care of the right front because you will melt it off if you drive it too hard.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck the rest of the way here. Thanks you for taking a minute and chatting with us.
Appreciate you.
So there you go. There's Mike McConville. He's extremely confident out of the YJ Esports team.
He sounds happy, and a happy race car driver is a fast race car driver.
Yes, that is exactly right. Johnny Avila is back on the racetrack. Let's see. Yeah, he is being scored on the lead lap. So the 63 machine could be a contender. Got a bunch of the damage repaired, maybe not all of it, but at least a lot of that work done. Late race caution, who knows what we could see there out of the 63 machine. But pace truck is in. We are getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Down into the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. We're underway once again here at lap number 70. Lead pack is not playing nice here on this restart. Colton Harvey looking inside of Kevin Dick. Tight all the way through basically the entire top 10 as we get back to turn 1. Kevin Dick doing it the hard way, up on the outside of the racetrack into turn number 3. He'll get the pass completed. We'll see if Seville can keep the momentum up. He does not. New race leader Kevin Dick back to the front of the field, picking up his 13th lap led in the race. Troy Hayton has led 38, Tyler Seville 21. One of the best performances we've seen out of the 28 machine of Troy Hayton. Looks like trouble for Daniel Pinkston. We'll get you a replay on that one here in just a moment once this settles down a little bit. But even with all the incidents we've had tonight here, Patrick, still 14 of the 20 cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, and that's always fantastic to see, and I can guarantee you we're not going to see something like that at Martinsville next week. I think you're going to see a lot of cars lap down or so, and it's definitely a different kind of racing. I'm wondering, actually, while we've got a bit of a single file session here, I want to see what your opinion is on. Does someone make a Chastain move at Martinsville next week?
Oh, I hope so. I absolutely hope so. It's one of the dumbest things I have ever seen a race car driver attempt. Carl Edwards did it years ago and jumped the race car in the process. Chastain just used the fact that the car is an absolute beast to his advantage. One of the wildest things I've ever seen.
Now, what's your defense to that? If the whole field knows it's coming, do we see all 20 cars go full NASCAR 05 into the outside wall?
Well, that's where things, at least to me, are a little bit interesting because the sporting code for iRacing is still in effect. You could theoretically protest that to iRacing, even if it's in a league.
It depends on if the league enforces sporting code or not. Like the After Dark stuff I do, that is sporting code, not in effect stuff. You want to drive backwards, boys have at it, I'll hit the clear all night. The only thing that's in effect 100% all the time on iRacing is your communication. So you can't say any dirty words over the comms. But other than that, in a league, I believe it's all up to the league admins, unless the league is advertised and specified as sporting code is fully in effect.
Yeah, I'm interested to see, knowing how well oiled the machine is that Sam and the Jordans have that run this league. I wonder if there's not going to be something said in the drivers' meeting like, don't try it. And we can kind of talk about this. This league has a penalty point structure in place. So if you do something dumb, you're going to get a penalty for it. There are racecraft penalties that the league issues. Drivers can be suspended for a week for not for accumulating too many penalty points and those sorts of things. So you do sort of have to be at least a little bit careful, because if you do something dumb and you get a suspension, it's not 1 week you're sitting out, it's 2, with Martinsville then followed by the off week for the Thanksgiving break. That's a long time to sit and think about an off week and then a suspension week if you do something knucklehead at Martinsville.
It's definitely going to need to be something that not only is discussed in this league, but just about every league on iRacing that goes to Martinsville. Are we allowing this, or is it going to be a hard no?
I mean, could you see somebody try it at, like, Bristol even?
See, I think it only works at Martinsville. Everywhere else, the turns are too wide, you're slowing yourself down on the wall. Martinsville, you're backing it up so much that it's faster to run the wall. The only other place I can see it being plausible is Loudon.
Yeah, and that's a lot longer of a wall to ride.
Yes. I'm sure if someone wants to do the math, there's like a formula with a specific variable to corner length, entry speed, how much speed you're losing on the wall in the corner versus hitting the brakes. I'm sure you could figure it out if you didn't have any time on your hands.
Yes, I love some of the tweets that were coming out from drivers in the NASCAR garage of they need to make these game physics more realistic, and when they're trying to wall ride in the video games and the car just grenades itself.
Yeah, because that's what the video games have had to have programmed into them, because you'd play NASCAR 05, you'd play with your little brother, and he'd start losing and wall ride and beat you, so they nerfed it. You wall ride, your car blows up.
So working lap number 83, 15 laps into the run since the pit stops anyway, a little bit more than that since the caution flag. Troy Haight falling backwards here a little bit. This is a surprise. The car has been very quick all night long. In fact, led the most laps of anybody to this point. Maybe a little bit of tire conservation could be what we see going on here, though. As this race is ticking up to the 1 hour mark, and we're down to 33 laps to go here at Charlotte. Get you side by side here. Go on board with Colton Harvey as he is trying to chase down race leader Kevin Dick. Close up the front here, but just as close out the back to Mike McConville's machine. And then again, Patrick, the question becomes, can anybody make it on fuel or what does the strategy become there? Oh, man. McConville almost spinning off the front of Tyler Seville as they entered turn 1 there.
I'm not sure. I mean, I think you're going to have to just take another splash and go before the end of the race.
I would think so.
I don't know if you take tires, though. Especially if it's under green, you're just going to lose so much time taking tires.
Yeah, you're not in a happy place if you're having to take tires on that green flag stop. Great battle here between Mike McConville and Tyler Seville. Oh, buddy, almost making contact through turn number 4. And quite frankly, this is what NASCAR was looking for in this package. Great racing at the mile and a half. That is the kind of bread and butter week in, week out track that we visit on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule. They want these cars to run well at the mile and a half. And outside of drivers getting hurt when they wreck, I think they're pretty close to getting what they asked for.
Yeah, and for next season, I was looking at some of the tech documents they have for the next-gen car that they're building for next year. While the bodies are going to stay the same, the chassis are going to be a little bit different. They're implementing crumple zones, so I don't think a Chastain move will work in the future because the cars aren't going to be nearly as stiff and rigid. So instead of the driver taking all the force in a crash, it's going to go back to the car taking the force, which sucks if you want to crash and keep on racing, but if you want to live a nice long life and finish out the race season, I definitely think it's a benefit.
Yeah, that's at least to me the biggest storyline to have come out of NASCAR this season was a rash of driver injuries that we haven't seen since, I'm going to say, the late 90s. I mean, obviously that time period had fatalities that were attached to it as well. But caution on the speedway. We'll come back to that one in a moment. But trouble for A.J. Digby running inside the top 10. Take a look at the Hot Shoe Raceway instant replay. See what happened here. The 41 of Tim Knott down on the inside. Oh, that may have been some net code. We'll try to get another look at it here, a little bit different angle. Yeah, that absolutely looked like may have been some net code there that got a hold of A.J. Digby. We'll go overhead here. Okay, well, it helps if I click the right button. Now we'll show you the overhead.
AJ. I believe this is 3 weeks in a row now. He's been helped around.
Man,
definitely some frustrations mounting there. And come Martinsville, it's acceptable to make a little bit of bumps at Martinsville. Some people might be getting harder ones than others.
Yes, the contact that could be coming there. And let's go back to the green flag look here, because everybody is on pit lane with the exception of A.J. Digby. Final stops of the race here coming with 26 laps to go. Troy Haight going to win the race off of pit lane. He'll be followed by Kevin Dick, Tyler Seville, Colton Harvey, and Mike McConville. But there's A.J. Digby up behind the iRacing safety truck. Take a look here. I think this may have just been checking up. Oh, well, maybe, maybe not. That could be. You get kind of the pit lane plus a lane. Oh, whoa. Well, now that was interesting. Tim Knott and Corbin Simmons getting into it at the exit of pit lane.
That's an oops.
Yeah, that's kind of putting it mildly. Let's see if we can take a look at this one again here and see what happened, but...
Oh, right into the attenuator.
That's interesting. I'm not sure if we will see a penalty come out of that. We'll see what if we get a message here from race control, but not sure what happened there involving the 10 at Corbin Simmons and Tim Knott in the 41. Let's see if we can't talk to our new race leader here, a driving car number 14, AJ Digby. And AJ, unfortunately, it looked like maybe some netcode was the reason for the spin there, or at least very minor contact. But interesting call to stay out here on the racetrack. What are you thinking here, bud?
We'll see what happens. Driving not super happy. Had a couple different people who were driving me a little too aggressive that last time, and when everybody went in, I figured, why not? Let's go off strategy. There's still, 20 plus laps. So, I mean, you never know. I want to keep myself as clean as possible, obviously. My intention is just to stay out on the tires. I just so happen to be in the lead and cannot pit because pit lane's closed. But if we get 10 to 12 laps and then I get fresh tires, you never know what can happen. So I figured, why not?
I like the thought process, brother. Good luck the rest of the way here, and hopefully we're talking to you more in just a little bit.
Thank you.
And that right there is what makes AJ Digby so good. He just got wrecked. I mean, I'll just say it right there. I mean, he got turned. And he's still got a level head on him. He's not angry or anything. He's ready to go racing.
Yeah, full Punterino. You could hear a little bit of frustration in his voice, but one of those deals where it's kind of like, hey, is what it is. And he's a very cerebral driver to begin with. He's good on the fuel calculations. He's good at managing the tires. He's going to be one to contend with, especially if we get a late yellow.
And with the way this race has gone and how racy these drivers have been, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a late yellow.
So AJ Digby, Troy Haight going to lead the field back to green. Tyler Seville, Kevin Dick on row number 2. Row 3, Mike McConville, Colton Harvey, Richard Smith, Max Williams on row 4. This one's going to be fun. Last time tonight, y'all at home, go ahead and crank it up. Battle for the race lead, and they're 3 wide down the back straightaway. Oh my goodness. Digby trying to hold on to the outside. McConville glances off the safer barrier in 3. Richard Smith going to come through to the inside, bringing Tim Knott with him. Right now, Tyler Seville, Colton Harvey going to be nose to tail for the race lead into 1. 3 wide back of the pack. That's Johnny Avila way up on the high side. Oh, and Avila, how did he save it? Comes across the front of Tim Knott, or excuse me, of the 86 of Tony Patton. Good Lord, what a save.
Man, what a move. Saves it, and he's back to driving like he's in a 96 Honda Civic going down the Belt Parkway. No, he was not clear, and he made that move work. That was fantastic.
Johnny Avila getting after it. He wants a piece of the front here. Early contact, spinning him around, upwards of 5 minutes of damage repair to be done to that race car. getting it done over the course of a couple of pit stops. 19 laps to go. It's game on for Johnny Avila. Max Williams down to the inside of Richard Smith. He'll complete that pass for fourth. Great run for the 23 car here tonight. And man, this top three is about to get exciting. Tyler Seville, Colton Harvey, Kevin Dick battling into turn number one. Avila peeking his nose out on Mike McConville. We heard McConville talk about what they had found late in the run. It's going to be interesting to see how that develops. Trying the hard way around Richard Smith. Goes up top, see if he's going to come down the racetrack. Not able to do so at the exit of the corner. Going to have a little bit of drafting help from Avila down the backstretch. Grab some gravity. Big old left hook down the inside of turn three. That's going to move McConville up and really got the 23 machine squirrely. That's going to allow Johnny Avila to have the peak inside. Now we're kind of getting into that window that AJ Digby was hoping for. He felt like a rock all the way back to the 13th position now after not taking tires on the final pit stop. However, if we get the late race caution, AJ Digby's got a fresh set of fresh Goodyear Racing Eagles to put on that machine.
Yeah, he's just got to hang on and keep himself in contention and get a little bit lucky.
Got to make sure we say a big thank you to all the sponsors of the Sim Racers Club here, including SimSpeedShop.com, the overall champ getting a NASCAR style wheel, spring and fall champions picking up a button box, 3 additional button boxes going out for the safe driver draw. Make sure you check them out over at SimSpeedShop.com. Cash prizes for the stage winners going out courtesy of Northland Leisure. Realty Executive Saskatoon putting up the cash for the fastest lap of the race. Right now, that belongs to Johnny Avila at a 30.281 second lap. Also, Custom Paints and Diecast putting up the cash for the hard charger and the biggest loser. Right now, your hard charger going to be Richard Smith plus 11. Brad Allison going to be your biggest loser, down 16 positions after some early contact. Leader's going to be fairly tight. We'll bring up the side-by-side here and get you a look at the other battles a little bit deeper in the pack. Mike McConville, Johnny Avila battling for 5th and 6th. Also Richard Smith, Cody Patton. And we'll put Tim Knott in the picture for that one as well. That's going to be from 5th all the way back through the 9th positions. McConville and Johnny Avila were continuing their battle. Best fight on the racetrack right now, probably going to be this fight for second. Kevin Dick trying to get caught back up to Colton Harvey as race leader Tyler Seville is checking out here with 10 to go. Richard Smith, Tony Patton in a locked in a great battle here down the back straightaway. Just ahead of Tim Knott. Smith able to hold on to the 7th position to this point. Oh, so squirrely off of turn number 2. That truly is one of the unique things about Charlotte Motor Speedway. Not much banking on the backstretch, almost none on the front dog leg. The way the car unloads off the corner is sketchy as all get out every time you exit the corner.
And these cars are a handful to drive without any banking. Gen 6 car, well, I believe any stock car really is. Without any banking, you're just sliding around like it's on ice, which is why I think the Chicago street circuit is going to be really fun. As Johnny Avila just bangs it off the wall, almost looked like for no reason going down the backstretch.
Oh man, Max
Maybe
Williams
he's trying
man
to
caught a
straighten that
piece.
steering wheel out.
Yeah. Oh, seen a little bit of smoke there. Not sure who that may have been from. We do stay under the green though. McConville holding on to the 4th position. These guys are going to need some help if they want to get caught back up to the leaders. With only 5 to go this time by the start-finish line. Tyler Seville leading over this man, Colton Harvey and Kevin Dick. Slide back, Johnny Avila looking outside of McConville into 1 and 2. Max Williams going to hang out with a teammate down there on the inside. Can Colton Harvey and Kevin Dick get caught up to race leader Tyler Seville? The lead sitting just over 1 second and growing. Well, now they're going to battle side by side. Kevin Dick passing Colton Harvey down the backstretch. How about this fight going on here? Still Andrew Moore Jr., Richard Smith II, Tony Patton, Tim Knott, all nose to tail as we are down to 3 laps to go. These guys fighting it out, as are Mike McConville and Johnny Avila still battling as well. This is the fight for second, and there is absolutely nothing going on for the race lead. The gap now at 1.7 seconds. For Tyler Seville as we're down to 2 to go.
Tyler Seville proven he's got it. He might not be the points leader. He was before Hurricane Ian, and I think he's trying to get that spot back. I don't know if there's enough time for him to do it. He's got to be dead on his marks each and every week, but I think the math works out where he might be able to.
Well, he's got the little bit of help he needed thus far. Johnny Avila only back in the 5th position, but it's still some points pickups here for Tyler Seville. He got the bonus points for winning stage number 2. That car has been very good all night long, now leading a race high 42 laps, and he's about half a lap away from leading the most important one. Through turn 4 for the final time. Checkered flag goes in the air, and Tyler Seville wins at Charlotte. Kevin Dick able to hold off Colton Harvey on the last
Johnny
lap.
Avila beats McConville to the line by 0.04 of a second.
Yep, let's take a look at the instant replay on this one. Big drive through the middle of 3 and 4, almost a little bit of contact.
Crosses him over. Oh,
Great
man.
battle there to the finish for the 4th position. Johnny Avila able to hold on, but there is your race winner, Tyler Seville. Johnny Avila wearing out the bumper on the number 11 machine. Tyler Seville decides it's time to make the donuts. Good run there for Seville, and
That's a little bit of a cocky donut right there.
yes, it is. Let's get you your race results. 1.5 seconds, the final gap in the line for Tyler Seville over Kevin Dick. Colton Harvey, Johnny Avila, Mike McConville round out the top 5. 6 through 10 tonight going to be Max Williams, Andrew Moore Jr., Richard Smith II, Tim Knott, and Tony Patton. Joshua Morris with a nice run to come home 11th. Corbin Simmons 12th. AJ Digby back to 13th, ultimately not getting the caution he was hoping for. Troy Haight obviously getting a little bit of contact here late because he led a ton of laps early in this race. Finishing as the final car in the lead lap in the 14th position. John Moeller, Daniel Pinkston, Hunter Waters, Will Wursler, Brad Allison, and Thomas Wilhite going to round out the remainder of your field here this evening. The Will Wursler Racing guys are just grenading motors and tires here at this point. I love to hear when the motors just start exploding all over the place. Well,
As a guy who rebuilds engines for a living, that sound makes me very happy. It means I make money.
Yeah, I was going to say, that means you're getting a paycheck this week.
Yup.
Well, let's get our Victory Lane interviews ready here. We'll drag up our drivers that we got to talk to here, and let's see. Let's kick things off tonight with our race winner, Mr. Tyler Seville. A fantastic piece of driving. That car was really strong. You led the most laps tonight, gained 5 spots from where you qualified. All in all, just a really good night all around for you.
Yeah, that really happy with the result. Had a fast car. I knew I'd have a fast car. I didn't know it was going to be this fast. But yeah, some people had some bad luck, and we were able to capitalize on it today.
Yeah, a little bit out of character for the Sim Racers Club with quite a few early cautions in this one. Does that change your approach to how you're going to run the race overall?
It didn't change it until the one right there in between the first and second stage, or before the first stage where I was able to get up to 3rd place. Once I got there, it kind of was like a mind reset, and I was like, okay, well, rather than save tires, I need to do what I can to try to stay up here. And then thankfully I was able to take the lead and drive away there to win stage 2.
Yeah, that was big, and obviously last week there was some hurt feelings and some guys bent out of shape after Talladega. I think we're going to see a little bit more of that tonight after this one. I guess it speaks to the talent level that this league has, where you have to be that aggressive even very early on in the race.
Yeah, you don't want to get behind in these races because everybody is so good. And unless it's a track that has a lot of grooves, which this one you can run the high line, but as we saw with that one crash, if someone sticks it 3 wide coming up off the corner, you're going to be lucky to survive it. So you kind of got to take what you can get when you can get it.
Well, I'll tell you what, brother, it was a fantastic drive for you tonight here. Very happy to be talking to you after your family was okay through Hurricane Ian and all that kind of stuff. Good to see you back on the racetrack. And, man, I'll tell you what, that one was a fun show. We appreciate it. And before we let you go, get all the big sponsor plugs and thank yous taken care of.
Yeah, shout out to my Will Wursler Racing teammates. Some of them had some bad luck, but I saw Johnny rebounded for a top 5. And then shout out to Cocktail Bar down in St. Pete.
All right, bud. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you checking in with us here. And, man, that guy was impressive here tonight. Let's see. Looks like we may have just lost Kevin Dick. If you might be able to drag him back up here for me, Bizzle. But we'll talk to our third place finisher tonight here, Mr. Colton Harvey. And, man, I'll tell you what, the car looked pretty good. You were very consistently near the front the entire race. Talk us through how things went from behind the wheel of that number 36 machine.
It was fine. The setup that iRacing had is not good, but I won't go into much detail other than that. Yeah, it was fine. It's just I couldn't get into clean air. I knew clean air was key here. Every time on that final run, I would get close to Tyler, and then I would kind of push the car. And then once you push this car and heat up that right front and heat up the rears, it's done for like 2 laps. It will not do the same line the next lap, no matter how you drive it. It'll just slide up. Yeah, and then every time, and then I just lost it on the backstretch. So yeah, gave up second.
Tiniest little bit of damage on the right front corner that we can see here on the super slow-mo. How did that affect you? Was that something that maybe cost you a little bit, or was this kind of a deal where everybody had at least a little bit going on?
No, I got that damage really, really late. Like I said, when Kevin passed me at the end of the race, that's when I got that damage. So I don't think I had any damage the whole race.
Well, I'll tell you what, bud, the car was really good all night long and a good points night for you as well. So congratulations on that. And before we let you go here, get all the sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Thank you to the league. Thank you to you guys for broadcasting National Racing Network. And hopefully Ron John doesn't blow away tonight when the hurricane hits.
Yeah, so we are saying a lot of prayers for the people down there in Florida tonight. And thank you much for checking in with us, Colton. We appreciate you hanging out here for a few minutes. And, man, one more to go here, Patrick, before we get ready to get the heck on out of here. And that's going to be our runner-up finisher here tonight, Mr. Kevin Dick. We'll get him up into the booth with us as well before we start talking about him. Man, this one was really, really good all night long. Leading a total of 33 laps over the course of the race. Ultimately, just not enough there to catch up to Tyler at the end. But, Kevin, congratulations. That car was really good tonight.
Thanks. Yeah, no, just try to keep it clean. Just stay out front most of the race. Just that last restart, those 2 cars on old tires, I got stuck on that bottom behind Troy there, and that sort of just set it in stone for where I was going to finish. I was able to sneak by him and sort of get back up there and, chase down Colton there. And his car, he started losing the handle there and he got into the wall, but I just didn't have anything for Tyler. He was so quick. He seemed like he definitely had the long run speed. And I was watching the track temp, slowly drop as the race went, so I knew we were going to be picking up speed as we went. So I don't know if we just pushed it a little bit too hard too soon, still that last run or not, but I mean, it started getting pretty tight on me. I mean, this set was just, it was a dump truck the whole night.
Yeah, and that's one of the deals that with a fixed setup league, you kind of have to work with what you have. How does that change your driving style? If you're a guy who likes to loose race car, that makes this a really hard night.
Yeah, and I mean, for how much you had to slow the car down in the middle of the corner, when you wanted to get into it, you just eat up the rear tires coming off. So, you think it'd be good, think you'd be good, and then you'd want to go, but then the car would always step out on you. And that's how it was in practice, but with the track temp coming down, it definitely helped that quite a bit. So Yeah, I know these fixed races they're good. I mean, everyone's on the same playing field setup wise. It's just it all comes down to driving style. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, nice run here tonight, and again, we just seems like we're saying a lot, but a really good points night for you as well. Congratulations on that, and before we let you go here, make sure that we get all the sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Yeah, I'll give a shout out to Custom Paints and Diecast. Give a shout out to you guys up in the booth and the guys at Pie Eye, the great group of guys to race with, and everyone else in the league. Everything's been going pretty good so far.
All right, bud. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you hanging out with us here. And, man, I'll tell you what, Patrick, we got a show unlike what we're used to seeing with the cars and stars of the Sim Racers Club. Last week at Talladega was nuts. This one was pretty good.
That was a fantastic race. I mean, it's mile and a half racing with the NextGen car. You're going to have fun. You're going to have crazy side-by-side racing. You're going to have cars beating and banging into each other, and we still got the crazy usual Charlotte, just cars spinning out of nowhere on the front stretch. It was a ton of fun.
Yeah, and now we've got a big one coming up next week. Pulling up the schedule here, there's not much left to this Sim Racers Club season. Martinsville next week, followed by the off week. Then we go Homestead, Las Vegas, Phoenix to close out the season. A whole lot of mile and a half-ish type racetracks, the absolute wild card that is Phoenix. And that's all going to come after we run Martinsville. We joked about do we see the Chastain move from somebody late in the race? There's still a lot to be decided in this one.
I like how you say we joked about it. That has been proven both in iRacing and the real world. It's a legitimate move.
Yeah, I saw a tweet from somebody about the end of every heat race at the Valley Star 300 for the late models. You're going to see somebody try it. It definitely changes the last lap desperation move, that's for sure. What used to be the dump and run, you now can try to just wall ride it all the way through and hope it sticks.
Yeah, and it blows my mind that the things I was doing on my Dreamcast 15, 18 years ago, it works!
Yes.
Just mind-blowing.
Yeah, this one's a lot of fun. We're looking forward to next week at Martinsville, and then it's a week off for the Thanksgiving holiday before we run 3 races to close out the season. Looking forward to it. This one is definitely going to be fun, and we got a whole lot more coming up for you tomorrow night on the National Racing Network as well. It will be the Ezra IndyCar Series kicking things off from Twin Ring. No, they're at Phoenix with the open dogleg. IndyCars bouncing off of that. That's going to be wild. And then we head off to Twin Ring Motegi, back there for the second time this season, but this time on the East Road course with the cars and stars of the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. That one's going to be interesting as well. Note the time change on that one, 9:30 p.m. in the East. Very, very tight time windows between the Ezra IndyCar Series and the Indy Pro 2000 Championship the rest of the season. Because of the daylight savings time switch, iRacing runs on GMT, so the GMT time doesn't change for the SOF race. So we're going to be running that one at 9:15 in the East. And Ezra, we're going to talk with those guys and see how quickly we can get them on the air as well, because I want to make sure we get that whole race in for you. But a lot coming up the rest of this week on the National Racing Network. But now it is time for Patrick and I to get the heck on out of here. This one's been fun. Looking for more fun coming up tomorrow night. Don't want to miss any of it. Check us out, nationalracingnetwork.com, for all your real-world racing information as well. But until tomorrow, we will talk to you all soon. For Patrick and everybody here at NRN that makes these shows happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will talk to you all soon. Have a good night, everybody.